What's up, you guys, and welcome to the official podcast of Damian Talks Education. So listen up. I am here to talk about all things education on my podcast. So get prepared for some realness and honesty of education as I walk you down through various of topics that's happening in the education world with some amazing guests, to sharing stories relating to education and so much more, because I got you covered with education. So join me on this journey of education with me. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Damian Talks Education. And you know what day it is? It's Friday. Oh, yes, you guys, we have made it. We have made it. Made it to Friday. Give yourself a hand clap. Give yourself a hand clap. Oh, my gosh. I'm so glad it's Friday, you guys. I am so glad that it is Friday, and as many of you guys are as well. So, you guys, let's hop right into what I'm going to talk about. You see, I'm back in my seat, once again, to talk with all of you. So, let's get into it, shall we? So, today, I'm going to be talking about support for students with disabilities as they are headed to college. Yes. Now, a smooth transition from high school to college requires these students to understand the law and also build critical self-advocating skills. Okay, and I will get into all of that on today's episode. So let's get started, shall we? Now, due to reasonable accommodations, opportunities for students identified with disabilities to experience success in post-secondary settings have increased, went up, okay? Now, the growth in enrollment and the recognitions that students with learning disabilities experience difficulties have also led to an increase in the types of support that that they offer at institutions, at colleges of higher learning, universities, community college, that sort of thing. Now, despite these positive trends, students with disabilities still face challenges, you guys. Yes, they do. They still face these challenges. When transitioning from a secondary to the post-secondary environment, as evidenced by graduation rates that continue to lag behind those of non-disability students. Now, two things are key to the post-secondary success of students with disabilities, okay? So one is an understanding of the law, and second, an understanding of how to self-advocate in the face of the law, all right? Now, both are skills that students can begin to develop in high school and that their teachers can help them with. Okay, so let's get into the understanding of the law. Okay, the first thing. Now, after students graduate from high school, their legal protection change, because in high school, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, the idea applies, that aims at supporting student success through the assessment of supports and services, and it legally implements among the school district to identify needs and to provide services. Now, after students they turn 18, you have the Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, which focus on providing equal access to educational programs and becomes the legal guide for support and service. Now, under this section 504, a college or university is not responsible, they are not responsible for identifying students with disability and ensuring effort support services. Now, rather, the student become responsible to self-disclose their disability, provide evidence of need in the form of evaluation, and obtain accommodations, and self-monitor their effectiveness. So, yeah. Now, furthermore, when a student turns 18, you have the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act, which is the FERPA, and it adds another element of responsibility. Now, as a federal law, the FERPA protects the privacy of student education records. Now, at the post-secondary level, unless given permission by the student, a student's parents they cannot call the professionals, they cannot call the profession, oh, let me slow down, you guys, because I'm seeing like I'm going too fast here. It's Friday, I'm just so happy. Um, so at the post-secondary level, unless given permission by the student, a student parents cannot call the professors to check on programs, a form of, advocacy, the way they could through the child's education through 12th grade. Okay. Now, for adult students with disabilities, it's crucial to understand what changes legally when they turn 18, particularly with respect to their newfound responsibility to seek support services from university office for students with disabilities, and also communicating their unique learning needs to professors and self-evaluating the effectiveness of their academic accommodations. All right. So there you have right there of how you can understand the law with students who are, have disabilities. Now let's get into the importance of self-advocacy. All right. Now, in post-secondary educational settings, as noted above, well, as noted, as I said earlier, excuse me, students must self-disclose and seek out supportive services. Then it will culminate, upon them to communicate to each of their professors their need for accommodations inside the classroom. Now, again, that's often a radical shift from the secondary school experience that they have, accustomed to, where school districts are responsible for identifying students with disabilities and then provide and monitor services to ensure student success. Am I right? Yes. Now, although advocating for themselves might be a skill that students learn while in secondary school, that shift often means that they need to ramp it up, and pose in a post-secondary environment. Now, I found this out, you guys, that research suggests that self-advocating skill among students with disabilities are linked to better school retention rates and more successful adult outcomes. Now, you have the key to self-advocacy is the student's understanding the specific characteristics of their disability and knowing how their disability affects the way that they learn, accepting, their need to, support services and having an ability to communicate, this information to their professors. Now, for example, you guys, you have a student identifies with, with dyslexis. You guys know what that is. He needs to understand and who needs to understand and communicate. I cannot speak on today. Let me start over. For example, a student identified with dyslexis needs to understand and communicate how their disability affects their reading fluency and comprehensions, as well as they would benefit from extended time on exams, on taking an exam in a reduced, distraction environment at a campus testing center. Now, additionally, in a post-secondary settings, students are responsible for evaluating their effectiveness of the services provided to them, communicating with their counselor advisor or professor about their weakness in the services, and developing a new plan for success in the face of solutions that don't work very well for them. Now, let's get into our last, which is how to prepare students to self-advocate. Okay. Now, secondary school teachers can be critical in helping students to learn about their disability and how to effectively communicate their academic needs. And they should encourage their students to attend and participate in their individualized education plan, the IEP process, which will afford the student or students, the opportunity to learn about their disability and need for supports. Now, furthermore, once a student with a disability turns 14 years old, their IEP team must write a plan that will help prepare the student for a successful transition to life right after high school. Now, when students are full participants in this planning process, they can take charge of preparing for their own future. Now, one effective practice during this preparation period is having students learn to write emails to disclose their disability and explain accommodations they need. And ideally, they should master that skill while they are still in high school before they graduate from high school. Okay. Now, it is helpful even as early as high school to have students craft emails that they can later send to their professors prior to the start of every college semester. Now, in the email, they can introduce themselves on a personal level, explain how their disability affects the way that they learn, um, what accommodations are provided by the university, and most importantly, how the accommodations help the student overcome challenges. Now, this often makes it easier for them to form a productive, supportive connection with their professor. That relationship, having that bond, because relationship is key. Relationship is key. Now, students can even write an email that they can use repeatedly throughout their post-secondary career. So they can use this, repeatedly for, almost every class and, every year, when they have, different professors. So this is good. This is good. I like this. And again, like I mentioned, um, when I was talking about that with student suicide, that our students, they're not alone and they need us. So you guys out there who have disabilities, know that I am here for you and that you are not alone in this. You are not alone in this. Okay, you are not alone. We are here every step of the way to help you in this world. Okay, so you guys, that is it. I know this is a short episode, but I'm just so excited, you guys. I'm just so excited that it's finally Friday. I'm just so happy. I'm so happy, so happy that it's finally Friday. So I'm going to end it here so I can celebrate my Friday and my weekend. And I'll catch you guys next time on Damian Talks Education. So until then, you guys, take care of yourself and be blessed and go out and enjoy your Friday and your weekend.